The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Representatives are currently busy. Please stay on the line, and your call will be answered by the next available representative. The estimated hold time is currently less than 96 minutes. You are currently caller number 32.
Are you tired of getting blown out of the water by other web hosting solutions? At BladeNode.com, our affordable web hosting and quick customer support is our #1 priority. BladeNode Web Hosting was started with a mission to provide premium hosting at half the price as other hosts without sacrificing features, reliability, and 24/7 customer support with a live technician. Join our community today by visiting BladeNode.com and using promo code BLADE10 for 10% off your first package.
Good evening and welcome back trackside once again. Race fans here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series heads to the high concrete banked corners of Dover International Speedway. Miles the Monster lurking just outside the track. Will he grab a few victims tonight? We'll have to wait to see how that all unfolds here tonight in a race number 2 in your 3-race chase here for the championship in the Cyber Thunder BladeNode.com Pro Cup Series. There you have a little track information on screen for you, but first and foremost, how you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? As always, Darkside Dave in the cave bringing you all the calls from trackside here tonight. Just tonight, in one more race before we will crown our season champion here in the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Tonight's Concrete Jungle 130. Final few minutes. Clicking off the stopwatch here in a happy hour. Your championship points coming in to tonight's race look a little something like this. Those 8 drivers right there at the top of the field battling for their championship hopes and dreams. Tanner Tallarico closely followed by Brett Hahn sitting right there in second place. Chris Dean a little bit back behind the 8 ball already. After race number 1 last week in Kansas, Brett Hahn took his 71 machine and sat it in a victory lane. Can he go back-to-back? Can he overcome the points deficit and head into Atlanta Motor Speedway with the points championship in hand? We'll have to wait to see how well those top 2 drivers fare here tonight. Crank Bell, Tom Richter, also right there, still closely in touch with your points leader. Going to be one great night of racing here on the concrete banks of Dover International Speedway. Whew. Another week in the books here at Cyber Thunder BladeNode.com Pro Cup Series. And as the final few seconds tick off in happy hour, there you see the flagman waving that checkered flag here for happy hour. We're going to get set now to fire things off for your qualifying session here tonight from Dover International Speedway in the Concrete Jungle 130. Who's willing to give it their all here in qualifying? We'll look to see who jumps out on track first. Looks like Cole Gray, Chris Dean also out on track, so we'll jump out there and watch that 44 of Cole Gray as he makes his way around the speedway. Hearing a lot of chatter down there on the radios through happy hour about this track being pretty difficult here tonight. Drivers really complaining about the looseness of the cars getting into the corner and the tightness coming up out of the corners. And as we know, race fans here at Dover International Speedway, the runs just seem to compound those 2 problems. When the rubber gets put down, you think there's going to be a little more grip when they lay down that rubber, but this concrete surface eats up the tires, lays down the rubber, and the track, well, it doesn't necessarily always come around to you. Cole Gray off of turn number 4 for his second time lap, gonna slot in third on the speed charts. We'll jump out there now with the driver in the 24 machine, Richard Pruitt out of JR Motorsports. Pruitt crossing the line down back into turn number 1. Beginning his first time lap, Chris Dean going to sit on top of the provisional pole here tonight with a 21.90. Pruitt gonna slot in ninth, last on the speed charts here, but it's only his first time lap. Brett the Jet sneaking it in on us. The 71 goes top of the speed charts, 21.88 for Hahn. Pruitt working his way through 3 and 4, now off of the corner exit, coming across the stripe. Where's he gonna slot in? Pruitt gonna jump a little bit in the speed, but not improve that position. We'll jump out there now with the Downforce Sim Racing Development driver in that Caterpillar 1 machine. Your points leader, Tanner Tallarico, working his way off of turn 4. Gonna cross the stripe this time by, where's he go? Top of the board, quick time, 21.78. Bob Rogerson, Andrew Payne, as well as Dave Gainforth, Andy Cork, Jay Morris, Mike Grandy, Frank DiMaggio, Jeff Sharp, Bryson Clark, Eric Moyer, Paul Turner, Tom Richter, and Eddie Behan all left to still put in their time lap, and it looks like Tallarico just going to go ahead and complete that lap just for good measure, but off of the gas. Well, before the end of that run, we'll check in now with the driver in that 29 machine, Jamie Beasley, making his way off of turn 2 down the backstretch. First time lap for Beasley. Let's see where he can shake down. That Ford Mustang gonna cross the line. Where's he go? 9th on the speed charts. First time lap for Beasley. Now at a 2 back down the backstretch one more time. Can he improve that? 22.26. Sideways coming off of the corner. The 29 gonna cross the stripe. Doesn't look like he's gonna improve at all on the speed charts. We'll jump back now with the 12 machine of Mike Grandy as he's on his qualifying attempts here. Closing in on the halfway point here in this 10-minute qualifying session for Cyber Thunder's BladeNode.com Pro Cup Series. Tired of overpaying for your web hosting, needing extra assistance and not getting there? Head on over to BladeNode.com. Simple web solutions powered by nerds. Grandy gonna slot in the 12th spot with his first time lap. Well, off the pace, 22.61. He's gonna have to make up quite a bit of time to dethrone Tanner Tallarico, but off of 4, close to the outside wall, carrying the momentum across the line. He's gonna jump to 9th on the speed charts. Now we'll jump out there with Eddie Behan. Behan gonna cross the line, put down his time lap, goes all the way up to 6th on the speed charts. Still in the gas down the backstretch. He's going after this second time lap. And looks like he's going to go ahead and call it quits, bringing the car to a crawl out there. We'll see if we can catch anybody else out there. Heading out for their qualifying attempts. Still just about 4 minutes remaining here in this 10-minute qualifying session. Frank DiMaggio, Tom Richter, as well as Eric Moyer, Andy Cork, Dave Ganforth, Bryson Clark, Andrew Payne, Paul Turner, Bob Rogerson, Jeff Sharp, and Jay Morris, all yet to put in a time lap, so we've got about half of the field here tonight already putting in their qualifying laps, already trying to snatch an extra point here late in the season. Tanner Tallarico sits in the provisional pole position right now. Quick time for that number 1 machine, 21.78. Quiet at the racetrack, and it's almost an eerie feeling not hearing any engines fired at all down there on pit road or back in the garage. And as I said, it's kind of an eerie feeling. I wonder if some of the nerves may be getting to some of these championship drivers, knowing they're coming into a tough 1-mile track, a concrete surface at that. And it is right here, second race out of the 3-race championship chase this season for the Cyber Thunder BladeNode.com Pro Cup Series. And quite a few of those drivers that haven't put in their time lap are up inside of that top 8 for your championship chase. So maybe a little nerves beginning to work through these drivers. Maybe a few of them going out there to tell Miles how it is and try to put him in his place before Miles puts them in a place they don't want to be, parked back behind pit wall, out of the race here tonight. Action can happen very quickly here at Dover International Speedway, so gotta keep your eyes peeled, gotta keep your elbows up, head down, and try to get all that you can. With only about 2 minutes left in qualifying, looks like Paul Turner may be out there on track attempting his qualifying session. So let's jump out there now with Turner. Let's see how he goes. .42 machine looks good through 1 and 2. Hammer down. Going down the backstretch into turn number 3 now off of the exit of 4. That 42 looking strong right now. Crossing the stripe. First time lap, 7th on the speed charts. He's got a shot at this pole right here. Just a few tenths behind your pole sitter, Tanner Tallarico, with a 21.78. Paul Turner turning in a 22.06 for his first time lap. Can he get it off of 4? Crosses the stripe. Where does that U.S. Army Chevy ZL1 Camaro go? And only gonna stay right there in that 7th spot. Very valiant effort out of Paul Turner, but not going to be able to knock Tanner Tallarico off the top of that podium. So Tallarico gonna walk away with the pole position here tonight in the concrete jungle, 130. With that being said, race fans, we're going to take a brief commercial break, head down trackside for your national anthem. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
So proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
Fans fired, drivers heading down the backstretch. Your starting lineup looks a little something like this. Starting inside row number 1, Tanner Tallarico has that 71 of Brett Hahn. Just beside him, Chris Dean and Crank Bell make up row number 2. Row 3, Eddie Behan and Michael Witt. Chris Wold and Paul Turner make up row number 4. Rounding out your top 10, Brian Dorsey and Cole Gray. Pace car down and away. We're ready to go. Green flag racing for the first time here tonight. And on the gas, green flag flies at Dover International Speedway for the Concrete Jungle 130. There you can see across the screen in those bright yellow the boxes at the top on the ticker, your championship contenders, top 3 all championship runners. Eddie Behan sitting right there in 4th. So we've got 4 at, and way up the track goes Bell. Crank Bell goes way up the track in turns 1 and 2. Able to keep it out of that outside wall, but that was a big time moment early here tonight. Gonna keep our eye out for Bell, see if we can't see where he is falling to right now. Drivers already single file. The top 2 are already beginning to put a gap on the rest of the field. Eddie Behan back there in the 3rd spot, already sitting about 1 second off of your top 2 drivers. There you see Chris Dean, Eddie Behan battling for 3rd and 4th. We'll check back here with Crank Bell. Bell with a big run up the racetrack in turns 1 and 2 a handful of laps ago, about 2 laps ago to be exact. Looks like he's righted the ship. There you see that 14 machine slotted just in front of that familiar blue Boise State Chevy Z01 Camaro piloted by Chris Wold. Wold right there inside the top 10, running in the 8th position. Oh, big time moment there for Wold. He's almost into that outside wall. Battles all over the raceway. Race fans, we're going to take a little step back from the action, trying to get you a little bit more on screen as we've got battles all over the speedway. We'll jump back here with this battle. There you see Jamie Beasley going just underneath the sign. Beasley trying to make up a few spots, sitting back in the 12th position up here, battling for a top 5. Paul Turner all over the back end of Michael Witt. Crank Bell gonna make his way by Paul Turner. By Paul Turner. Turner falling back just a little bit now, but the top 2 drivers, man, I tell you what, they have set sail. Tanner Tallarico, Brett Hahn, and just like that, I said they set sail, but here, slowly that 55 of Eddie Behan starting to put his name back in the mix for a top spot. There you see a move by Mike Grandy Sr. on Cole Gray, put Grandy up into the 9th spot. Gonna jump back to that battle at the front of the field. Brett Hahn continues to hound Tanner Tallarico early in the goings here. Lap number 10 out of the 130 scheduled in the official race distance, and you can just look and see how big this championship is to these 2 drivers. Nose to tail, all ready for all 11 laps so far here tonight. Eddie Behan right there slotted in the 3rd spot. He has been able to step away from Chris Dean. Dean falling to the wayside just a little bit, falling into the clutches of the 20 of Michael Witt. There you see those 2 drivers as that battle begins to heat up. Crank Bell making his way back towards the front of the field, and Andy Cork looks like he may have had some issues. Cork off of the speedway, back behind pit wall. As we continue this green flag run, still watching the battle right here for the 4th and 5th spot on track. Michael Witt in that 26 machine has the 4th spot. Chris Dean rounding out your top 5, trying to get up there and take that spot away, not being able to get any closer at this point in time. So Dean and that Whataburger machine gotta find a little extra pace. We'll jump back to another battle that's going on right behind them. That's a battle 7th, 8th, 9th on track. Chris Wold, Mike Grandy, Paul Turner, Cole Gray right there in the mix. You can go ahead and add Brian Dorsey and Bryson Clark into that mix as well. Drivers mixing it up all over the raceway, all over the racetrack out here tonight. Lots of 2-car, small little battles. Got a 2-car battle up there at the front of the field. 2-car battle just behind them. Eddie Behan dealing with Michael Witt, Crank Bell right there in tow. Chris Dean, Chris Wold, Paul Turner, they continue to battle. Cole Gray's now going to look for a spot. Bryson Clark looks to the inside of Paul Turner, going to take that spot away, and now Turner falling back into the clutches of not only Brian Dorsey but also Frank DiMaggio. DiMaggio going to make a move to the bottom of the track. He's going to try to take that spot away from Dorsey. Dorsey moves up the track in 1 and 2, gonna give that spot to DiMaggio as Bryson Clark makes a pass on Cole Gray just in front of this battle right there. You can see DiMaggio slowly closing in on the back end of Cole Gray. And as I said, race fans, there are battles all over this speedway at this point in time. A little further back, you got another battle going on. There you see Tom Richter. He's slowly catching Paul Turner. He's going to be there here in the next lap or two. See if he can't make his way a little further up through the field. And just like that, that 34 takes the spot. And caution, flag flies for the first time here tonight. Gonna look to see if we can't see what happened. And it looks like Eric Moyer, very slow on the raceway. His Chevy Z01 Camaro has seen some better days. The front end all beat up and torn up on that machine. We'll take a look back, see how it all went down. Not seeing why. Oh, there it is. Contact with that inside safer barrier, trying to whoa up, maybe come to pit road. And it looks like Moyer just kind of bit it right there. And Miles has reached out and bit him as well. We'll rejoin the field back alive as Tanner Tallarico has control of the field. Who's going to come to pit road? Nobody going to stay out. Looks like everybody gonna come down for the 4 fresh Goodyear tires. And just like that, there's gotta be one to prove me wrong. Brian Dorsey, he's gonna stay out. I don't think he's gonna completely stay out. I think he's gonna stay out here, try to lead a lap, get a bonus point. Then we should see him hit pit road here momentarily. Caution number 1 coming out tonight here on lap number 20 out of the 130 scheduled in the official race distance. Frank DiMaggio, he's going to stay out on track as well. Look like DiMaggio headed down pit road, possibly missed his pit box, because yes, indeed, race fans, he's got a trip down pit lane, but he did not stop in the box. So a costly mistake, but fortunate enough for DiMaggio. It happened very early, and look at this. Brian Dorsey, Frank DiMaggio, they're going to stay out on track. We've seen drivers stay out on the track in the real world, in real life racing here at Dover International Speedway. It has worked out. It has paid off. We'll have to see if some of that real world can translate over to the simulator here on iRacing.com. Let's see how Dorsey and DiMaggio go at it here on this restart. 20-lap difference on the tires. It is going to be a tall task. 20-lap older tires at a tough concrete surface track like Dover International Speedway. They don't call it the Monster Mile for no reason. And these two drivers at the front of the field gambling early here in the concrete jungle. 130. Looks like DiMaggio's gonna elect to come to pit road that time by, so it's gonna leave Brian Dorsey out there all alone on those older tires, and the pace car lights have just went off. That's gonna bring us back to the green flag this time around to begin lap number 24 out of the 130 scheduled in the official race distance. Your leader, Brian Dorsey, electing to stay out under our first caution here tonight. He'll start front of the field, inside row. That's going to put Tallarico to his outside box. Eddie Behan and Brett Hahn going to line up just to the outside of Behan. Michael Witt, Crank Bell right there, 5th and 6th. Chris Wold, Bryson Clark, Eric Anderson, and Chris Dean to round out your top 10 for this restart. And Bryson Clark, what a race so far. Already up double digits from where he started tonight's race, up 11 spots from where Bryson started running in the 8th spot right now. Pace car gonna head and duck down pit road. Field in the hands of your race leader, Brian Dorsey. Dorsey waiting for it. On the gas, and green flag flies once again here at Daytona International Speedway, and down into turn 1. Tallarico on the fresher tires just blazes a trail right on around Brian Dorsey, and Dorsey already back to the 5th spot. Close battle right here still underway between Tallarico, Hahn, and Bell. Bell with a big time moment, I guess you would want to call it. A big time moment at the beginning of tonight's race. Had a big wiggle through the center of 1 and 2, sent him way up the racetrack, almost into that outside wall. And caution flag going to come out once again. Looks like Eric Anderson may have been involved in this one. We'll see if we can't get an eye on this, see what we see. And there you see Anderson turned around on the speedway and back into the outside wall once again. We'll take a look, see how it all happened there. You see the 83 just getting loose and not able to save it. Hard impact for that 83 machine. We'll take one more look at it here. And yeah, there you see it just getting super loose off of the corner exit, and around that 83 goes. So that's going to put us under caution for the second time early here tonight at Dover International Speedway. Tanner Tallarico has control of the race once again. Looks like Dave Gainforth as well as Frank DiMaggio, Eric Moyer, they're all going to come to pit road. Looking through, let's see what Brian Dorsey elects to do. Dorsey still not coming to pit road just yet. And on that restart, Brian Dorsey lost a ton of ground from first all the way back to the 9th spot by the time the caution flag flew. So those fresh tires. Definitely a big difference maker here tonight. And even just that short little run, I mean, that shows you right there. And it may have just been a test out of that 9 crew just to see how much those fresh tires really do mean here, just to kind of put that in your back pocket for later on in tonight's race. These drivers only have 3 sets of tires plus the tires they started on. Multiple drivers already changing 1 set of tires, so they are limited on how many more they got down there on pit road. And that very well may be coming into the strategy of Brian Dorsey, trying to keep some of those fresh tires down on the pit wall a little bit longer than the competitors, and possibly be able to put a fresh set on at the end of the race when nobody else has got any left. And well, we've seen what the fresh tires can do for a car here very early in tonight's Concrete Jungle. In Cyber Thunder's BladeNode.com Pro Cup Series. So we'll just have to keep our eye on this tire game. Looking back from your race leader, Tanner Tallarico's roof cam, just a great look back at this field, all double file, all ready to go. Back racing this time by. Lap number 30 will begin with the restart of tonight's Concrete Jungle 130. How will the field go? Will they get through the gears? Will we see a long green flag run this time? Dover International Speedway has been known has been known to have some rough spots, but usually lends its hand to some long green flag stints of racing. We have to see which one of these drivers has prepared for that type of race here tonight. But first, we've got to get through this latest restart. Your Ford Mustang pace car ready to duck off this time by making that left-hand turn. Down and away now, waiting for Tallarico to hit that loud pedal. Coming off of turn number 4 in the box and waiting for it. Green flag flies as Tallarico waits to the last minute to jump on the gas. Brett Hahn gonna stay side by side with him. Behan and Bell battle for that 3rd spot. Very close racing. Crank Bell loose off of 2. Bell big loose off of 2. He gives up some ground. Gonna fall back to that 4th spot. Now Brett Hahn gonna go ahead and give that top spot to Tanner Tallarico. Slot in line. Minimize the positions lost here on the restart. So Hahn with a valiant effort to try to take over that top spot, but just not able to fire off the restart line the way that one of Tallarico has been able to do so far here tonight. Big recovery now being made by Crank Bell. He's slowly starting to close that distance back in on Eddie Behan. Last time by. Fastest lap of the race, 22:01. Crank Bell is on the gas. Gonna look at a little more battles out here on the track. We'll jump outside of your top 10. Brian Dorsey right there leading this long train of cars. Mike Grandy, Jeff Sharp, Cole Gray, Paul Turner, and Frank DiMaggio all right here. DiMaggio just a little bit off of Paul Turner's rear deck lid, right at about 1 second back. And there you can see a battle, a pass to the inside as Cole Gray makes his way by Brian Dorsey. Dorsey going to lose yet another spot as Paul Turner makes his way by. Gonna check in with one of, one of the fans' favorites out there week in, week out, that 34 Cheerios Chevy ZL1 Camaro piloted by Tom Richter, sitting now inside the top 10 in the 9th position, about 1.3 seconds off of the spot in front, just over 1 second gap to the driver behind him. So Richter a little bit in no man's land right now, but look for that 34 to close some distance. Gonna jump back up front with the battle for the race lead. Brett Hahn continues to hound Tanner Tallarico. Eddie Behan losing a little bit of ground, but still running in a close, solid third spot. Crank Bell now closing in back in the 4th position. Bell has had some big moments here on these restarts. He fires off well, but it seems like inside those first 2 to 3 laps, turn 2 is just a nemesis right now for Bell and that 14 crew. Very early in tonight's race, just a little less than 100 laps remaining here tonight at Dover International Speedway. And race fans, these laps are going to click off in quite a hurry. But how frustrating can it be for the driver inside of that 71 car, Brett Hahn, to just look out the windshield and see Tanner Tallarico out in front of you? You know you got to get up there and pass him. You know you got to give yourself some sort of chance at having a shot at the championship when we roll into Atlanta Motor Speedway next Thursday night, championship night for the Cyber Thunder BladeNode.com Pro Cup Series. When does Hahn make that move? How long does he wait? How patient can you be, teammate or not, friend or not? There is a championship on the line. How long will Hahn wait before he decides to make the move? Hahn looked to the inside last time by into turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he looks again. No, gonna stay just tucked right in line. But it looks like he is running a little bit lower entry. That very well may translate for some speed down the backstretch here. There you see him closing just a little bit by the time they get to 3. And these top 2 have stepped away from Eddie Behan. Losing a little bit of ground now. Crank Bell struggling mightily out there on track. Bell losing the 4th spot to Bryson Clark. Now Chris Dean gonna take away that final spot inside the top 5. And Bell, it seems once again that turn 2 is just not agreeing with the setup here tonight for Bell, having all sorts of trouble off of turn 2. A little further back in the pack, Frank DiMaggio. There you see him on screen. 95 able to make a pass last time out of turn number 4. He'll take away the 12th spot from Cole Gray. Gray gonna slot back now into the 13th position. And about a third of the way through tonight's Concrete Jungle 130 already, and Tanner Tallarico has led almost the entire race after walking away with the pole position. Now here comes DiMaggio looking for the spot on Price. Looking to take the spot away from Jeff Sharp. And race fans, I don't know where Price came from, but Jeff Sharp losing the spot to Frank DiMaggio. DiMaggio slowly but surely climbing his way back through the field, now knocking on the door of a top 10. He's only got to get by that driver in front of him right now, Michael Whitten. Looks like he's going to look to the inside, going into turn 3, going to do so. He's going to pull to that bumper. There you see the bottom lane prevailing through 3 and 4, crossing the stripe. DiMaggio back inside the top 10. Gonna jump just a little further in front of them. There you see a battle on track. We'll throw a little bit of the battle information up on screen for you so you can follow along with that timing and scoring box over there on the left-hand side, as well as this battle box right here, the battle for the 6th spot. Craig Bell has it, Chris Wold right there, Tom Richter in tow. 3 Pro Cup Series drivers all nose to tail, and if they are not careful, Mike Grandy gonna close in and be right here involved in this battle in just a handful of corners. And Frank DiMaggio, he's gonna be there very soon as well. Not much to talk about at the front of the field. Yes, Brett Hahn is close, but not looking to make a pass, just right there running with Tanner Tallarico right now, as they have opened up the gap to Eddie Behan, now 1.5 seconds back behind your race leaders. As Crank Bell, he just continues to fall through the field from 5th back to 6th, 7th, 8th, now back to 9th, as he is getting freight trained left high and dry on the outside. Crank Bell gonna fall back to the 10th spot in line now. Put Chris Dean up into the 5th spot. Chris Wold right there closing the distance. Tom Richter right there still running in a solid 7th spot as we continue this green flag run here in the Concrete Jungle 130 for Cyber Thunders Pro Cup Series, brought to you by BladeNode.com. Simple Web Solutions powered by nerds. BladeNode.com. Whoa, big moment there for Chris Wold coming off of turn number 4, and he is still trying to catch that car going into 1 and 2. He gets all out of shape on entry. That's going to give the drivers behind him the advantage in 3 spots, just like that. Wold drops from 6th all the way back to 9th and has lost even more ground on the drivers that just made that pass, and that's just how quick it can all go away from your race fans. We'll check in back at the front of the field with your race leader, Tanner Tallarico, as he continues this run here tonight. Lap number 56 now underway out of the 130 scheduled in the official race distance. We do have one attempt at a green-white checkered. Should we get to it? Should we need it? Have seen multiple races come down to some green-white checkers this season. Will we see a green-white checkered finish here in a race number 2 of the chase? Still a long way to go before we'll have to worry about that and deal with that. But right now, going to do a little bit of house cleaning for you. Looks like 24 drivers took to the starting grid here tonight. We have still got we have still got 19 drivers on the track, with 16 drivers still on the lead lap. But Tanner Tallarico, he is picking them up and putting them down rather quickly. Jay Morris, Paul Turner, Dave Gainforth, a little bit on edge as your top drivers begin to close in on the field. And as we begin this long green flag stint, gotta keep in mind the drivers that have brought their machines to pit road. All ready to pit road the entire field, except for Brian Dorsey. Dorsey yet to come to pit road. He is, however, being scored the first car down one lap, and just like that, now Jay Morris gonna take over that lucky dog position. So Brian Dorsey, even though he's gonna have the fresher tires at the end of this, have an extra set, he's gonna have to make some gains for sure here tonight to get himself back on the lead lap, and then in a position to possibly use those tires when the time comes. As we begin 42 laps into this run, Tanner Tallarico slowly starting to gap the field. He's got about 1 second race advantage over Brett Hahn, running right there in that second spot. Just behind Hahn, though, 2.2 seconds back. There you see that man right there, the 55 of Eddie Behan. He's got Bryson Clark right on his heels, and Behan into that outside wall. Eddie Behan into the outside wall off of turn number 2. That's going to give up a little bit of ground, a little bit of time to the driver behind him, Bryson Clark, right there, but not able to capitalize on that mistake just yet. He'll continue to drive right behind him, right in that rear view mirror, try to distract, try to force a mental mistake. And there you see, breaking loose again off of turn 4 is Behan. Tanner Tallarico starting to separate himself from your second place runner, Brett Hahn, back now 1.2 seconds from Tallarico. Then another 2.5 seconds back to Eddie Behan, who has Bryson Clark all over him. Crank Bell going to bring his 14 machine to pit road. Looks like he has had enough at trying to keep that car going in the right direction after it has been just falling like a rock through your scoring pylon. And man, I'm just not sure what the issue is on Bell's machine. Maybe a little bit too much camber in those tires, maybe just burning them up way faster than what they should be. Nonetheless, we continue this long green flag run, now 48 laps into this run here at Dover International Speedway. And which one of your race leaders is going to hit pit road for gas first? You can go quite a while, quite a distance on one tank of fuel here at the Dover International Speedway, and you gotta remember, race fans, they're gonna be screaming for these tires well before they run out of fuel. Already past the halfway point, nobody gonna be able to lead more laps in tonight's race than this man on screen. Driver inside that Cat number 1 machine, Tanner Tallarico, gonna walk away with points for the pole position, gonna walk away with points for leading the most laps, a point for leading a lap, so 3 points gained right there, as he is already right about, I believe it is the 8 points in front of Brett Hahn. So Hahn now down 11 points, and it is going to almost put Hahn in a must-win situation when we head towards Atlanta Motor Speedway for next week's championship race. Here in Cyber Thunder BladeNode.com Pro Cup Series, just tonight and one more night before we crown a champion. And Tanner Tallarico is looking to try to set himself up for a for not necessarily an easy ride, but an easier, less stressful championship night at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Han now almost 2 seconds behind Tallarico. Tallarico just able to really find the pace in the long green flag run right now, and Han he's got nobody around him. He's opened up quite a bit of a gap back to the driver behind him. Bryson Clark 3.5 seconds back from Han, so your top two have absolutely separated themselves from the field. But Tallarico checking out. Gonna jump back to a battle on track for position. There you see Frank DiMaggio heating up just right on the rear deck lid of Tom Richter in that 34 machine. Richter struggling a little bit off of turn number 2, it looked like. And here comes Crank Bell with those fresh tires, and you can just see what a difference those fresh tires are making as more drivers to pit road. Mike Grandy as well as Richard Pruitt bringing his Pro Cup Series machine down to pit road. Gonna get service on that ZL1 Camaro as well. We've got more drivers to pit road. Jay Morris gonna come down this time. And as we have clicked off quite a few laps further than the halfway point, you gotta start running down these race strategies. Will anybody attempt a fuel only to try to gain a ton of time on an off pit road? Will anybody be willing to risk it for the biscuit and take maybe possibly just 2 right side tires to try to gain a few spots that way as well? Very feasible, very doable for the drivers inside the top 3. Han and Clark, they may be able to pull some pit strategy and gain some time. Tom Richter a little bit outside of that window of being able to pull a little bit of pit strategy and put himself up in that top spot. But with a good race call, a good strategy here, he could find himself battling for a spot inside one of those top 3 podium spots. And here comes Richter. Oh, and he's going to miss pit road. Hard into that pit entry wall as we got drivers coming to pit road. And, oh, my goodness, Richter and hard into the pit road. Oh, man, Chris Dean hard into the back end of that 34 machine. And there you see Tom Richter torn up after contact, trying to make it to pit road, missing that entry just a little, and that is all she wrote for the front end of that 34. Bryson Clark, Dave Gainforth, Chris Dean, Chris Wold, Tom Richter, all to pit road on that last time by. It looks like Cole Gray gonna come to pit road this time by. Tom Richter now makes his way off of pit road, being scored off of the lead lap, as well as a handful of this field. With this set of green flag pit stops, we are now down to just 4 drivers remaining on the lead lap. Tanner Tallarico, Brett Hahn, Frank DiMaggio, and Michael Witt round out the drivers still on the lead lap. And gotta wonder, will Brett Hahn try to okey-doke the field. Will he try to possibly undercut Tallarico, try to gain some time that way? Because Tallarico dealing with some fresh tires around him right now. There you see that too of Chris Dean blazing a trail right on by that one of Tallarico. And Tanner's going to go ahead and get on the... Oh, no! Tallarico sideways coming to pit road. How he got that load up and able to get to pit road, I don't know. But, man, that was a close call. He could have wadded that up. And we've got to keep an eye. Pit road police may have just popped Tanner Tallarico. We're not quite sure. We'll have to wait for the incident report. And here comes Hahn. He's about to get sideways, or does get sideways. Drifting into pit road, the 71 of Brett Hahn, following in the footsteps of Tanner Tallarico. Both of those drivers breaking loose, getting sideways, coming down to pit road for their green flag pit stops. Great racing even to get on to pit road. Gonna jump back now with this 14 of Crank Bell. Bell was the first driver to head to pit road to get those fresh tires back on lap 65. So he has been out there making up a ton of ground, a ton of time on the field. And as Hahn makes his way out of pit road, here comes Tanner Tallarico, Bryson Clark, Crank Bell. They're going to all make the pass on Hahn, as Hahn continues to drop through the field after that wicked crazy entry into pit lane. That's gonna pretty much do it for the green flag pit stops battle right here on track. Crank Bell with, I believe, that is the 24 machine. Of Richard Pruitt going by on much fresher tires. Bell with a great move, a great strategy, got him up inside those podium spots, but he has got the fresh tires digging and coming very fast. Here comes Hahn to the inside. Hahn gonna take away that final spot in the podium, and Crank Bell up into that outside wall once again off of turn number 2, and that has just been a trouble spot all race long for the driver inside that 14 machine. Bell has found that outside wall at a 2 quite often here tonight, trying to salvage all that he can as we work our way around the track on lap number 90 out of the 130 scheduled in the official race distance here tonight for the Cyber Thunder BladeNode.com Pro Cup Series. We'll throw the ticker back up across the top of the screen so you can follow along and check in where all these chase contenders are running right now. First, third, fifth, I believe that's seventh. Also out there, Chris Wold back in that 7th position. Yes, indeed, chase contender right there. Tom Richter with some trouble here tonight. Eddie Behan a little bit off pace. And that 55 machine sitting back in the 15th position as they run on track right now. So a handful of drivers having a tough week here this week, as we knew it very well may be a tough one here tonight at the Concrete Monster Dover International Speedway. Gonna check around the track for some of your closest battles on track. This will be between Cole Gray and Michael Witt. These two drivers battling for the final spot inside the top 10. Gray has it, but Witt wants it. And there you see Tanner Tallarico putting that 2 machine of Chris Dean down a lap. That's gonna leave us with just 8 drivers left on the lead lap. And as we close the distance in on the 100 lap mark here tonight, I do want to take a brief moment to say thank you and hats off. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Race fans, whether it's over there on the YouTube side, back on the Dark Side Dave Facebook page, or over there on Twitch, we do appreciate you joining us each and every night. If you haven't already, give these drivers a thumbs up, a like, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Darkside Dave in the cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by, whether you're just casually stopping in or the devoted friend, fan, or family. We appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. Without you, there would be no us. And we'll break down our over the halfway race report. 24 drivers took to tonight's starting grid. We have still got 19 drivers running on the track. 10 drivers left now on the lead lap. Cole Gray in the 44 will round out those drivers on the lead lap. Chris Dean, first driver, being scored 1 lap down. And just like that, your race leader, Tanner Tallarico, has put Cole Gray down a lap as well. So that's now going to bring us to just 9 drivers left on the lead lap. No battle to speak of inside of your top 5, so we'll jump back a little further through the field. Take a look at this battle for position on track. Dave Gainforth closing in on Tom Richter. That's going to be a battle for the 12th spot on track. Gainforth trying to get all that he can, and Tom Richter just looking to salvage any bit of points that he can today after a pit road entry mishap. Richter with some contact with those safer barrels down there just before that concrete wall. Then some hard impact from Chris Dean coming in, not knowing that Richter had some issues on his pit road entry. Contact between those two drivers. So now Richter with a torn up front end as well as rear of the race car. Continuing to watch the timing and scoring, we'll take a look at this battle here as Michael Witt gonna make the pass on Bell. Crank Bell gonna peel off track, bring his 14 machine back down to pit road, and I wonder, is it too late now for this undercut to work? Will the rest of the field have to come back to pit road? Ken, your race leader who has got a ton of lap traffic behind him, will he be able to stay out until the end of tonight's race? Or will he have to come back to pit road one more time? Crank Bell now on his second stop of the race. Tanner Tallarico now sees the 26 laps to go as he goes back into turn number 3. 25 laps left. When your leader crosses the line, he has a 3-second advantage over Brett Hahn. Brett the Jet struggling a little bit here tonight to repeat last week's race winning performance. Bryson Clark sitting back in the 3rd spot. Frank DiMaggio running in 4th and rounding out your top 5. Last driver on the lead lap, Mike Grandy. Looking through the field, looking down at the track, only real battle to speak of. This one right here, continuing to rage on. Dave Gainforth still trying to close the distance, close the time. And on Tom Richter, Richter going to go to the top of the track as the fresh tires of the 14 of Crank Bell makes their way by him. Bell being scored multiple laps down after making his third stop of tonight's race. Will anybody else have to come to pit road to ensure that they get to the end of tonight's race? Just 22 laps remaining here at the Concrete Monster Mile, Dover International Speedway. And race fans, we've only got 22 laps left here tonight. And then we head to Atlanta Motor Speedway to crown the season champion for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, sponsored by BladeNode.com. It has been a heck of a season so far. One crazy chase already. Kansas in the books. Another great race here tonight at Dover International Speedway for race number 2 of this championship. Jason, now just 20 laps remaining for Tanner Tallarico, leading this field, has a almost 4-second advantage over Brett Hahn. Still the closest battle on track, the one on your screen between the 34 of Tom Richter and the 101 of Dave Gainforth. Yes, that's a battle for outside the top 10, but it is your closest battle on the speedway. We'll continue to watch this for just a few more moments, then we'll head and run down your top 5 as they run here at Dover International Speedway in the Concrete Jungle. 130, finally that 101 able to make the pass, put Gainforth up into the 11th position. Still 7 seconds back behind Christine. Gonna have to make up a ton of ground if he's gonna want to check in to that top 10. We'll jump now back to your race leader. There you see him making his way off of turn number 4 back across the stripe. 16 laps remaining for this man right here on screen, your race winner out of Charlotte, Michigan, the 24-year-old, sponsored by ProCoat, Michigan Canton, QuickTime Media, the one of Tanner Tallarico. Driver sitting in the second spot on track from Brighton, Michigan, running out of the RHU Racing Stable. That Tallarico sign and design, Brett the Jet Machine, getting it done once again. Slotted in a solid second. Driver running back there in third from Bakersfield, Bryson Clark. Back in the 4th spot, still on the lead lap out of Windsor, Ontario, Canada. The 32-year-old Frank DiMaggio. Last driver inside your top 5 from Fonda, New York, Mike Grandy Sr. getting the job done. Heck of a run so far here tonight for that 12 machine. Solid top 5, up 6 spots from where he started tonight's race. And that, my friend, is how you make your way up through the point standings. You don't necessarily have to be battling for the championship to make up some spots in the championship standings. And Mike Grandy doing just that with a solid top 5 run here late in the going at Dover International Speedway. Back to the front with this man still enjoying a 4-second race advantage over Brett Hahn. Back off of turn 4, crossing the stripe this time by 11 laps remaining here tonight in the Concrete Jungle. 130 for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, sponsored by BladeNode.com. BladeNode.com for all your Web Hosting Solutions. You tired of being jerked around on your prices, not getting the technical service and customer service that you need, paying those high prices? Do so no more. Simple Web Solutions, powered by nerds. BladeNode.com. And with just 9 laps remaining here in tonight's race, your race leader, Tanner Tallarico, has set fire to the field, putting the entire field down 1 lap except your top 4 on track. Frank DiMaggio looking to be about a half a lap behind Tanner Tallarico, so absolutely torrent pace here tonight for Tallarico, running that inside lane. He's going to make his way around Dave Gainforth, put Gainforth down. I believe that is his second lap down here. I could be wrong on that one, but I do believe that puts Gainforth down a second lap, and yes, indeed, there it is. Down now 2 laps to your race leader. So your top 10 has a few drivers that are down just 1 lap, and only 4 drivers left on the lead lap, coming across the line that time by 6 laps now remaining for Tallarico to sew up tonight's Concrete Jungle 130 live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network from Dover International Speedway. Back into turn 3, the one of Tallarico coming off a 4 flag man, showing the high 5. 5 laps now remaining for Tallarico. Looking around the track, no battles for position. Looking to see if we've got any position battles close whatsoever, not having any battles for position at this time, so Tallarico will work his way off of 4 back across the stripe. Now just 4 laps remaining. Will this be the run to the end? Race fans, keep in mind, I did say, Dover known for those long green flag stints, maybe some trouble spots in the race, but we typically do see those long green flag runs. And we have seen a long green flag run here, consisting of 1, some with 2 pit stops here with just 3 laps to go. Caution flag comes out. Brian Dorsey, Chris Dean involved. There you see the 2 of Dean around on the inside up against that concrete safer barrier. Oh my goodness, that's going to change the game. We'll take a look, see what happened on the replay. Oh, and there you see Dean just trouble off of the corner, exit of 2. Around he goes, hard impact with that inside wall. Brian Dorsey also had some trouble. Let's see what happened to Dorsey here in the 9. Oh, a little bit of contact puts Dorsey into the inside wall. So 2 separate incidents pretty much simultaneously on the track. And that's what's going to put us under caution once again here tonight. From Dover International Super Speedway, my goodness, race fans, 3rd caution of the evening. And that's going to put this field in a little bit of a toss-up, a little bit of a mix-up. Who's going to come to pit road? Who's going to stay out? Just one way to find out, and that's keep our eye up here at the front. Brett Hahn electing to stay out on track. Ooh, that is a gutsy call. I believe this is going to be our 1 attempt at a green-white checkered here tonight, so he's just got to keep his 71 machine out front for just a handful of laps. But he is well behind on the tire strategy. About 30 plus lap difference in the tires than the drivers that are going to be lining up right around him. So I like the idea that the crew chief's just trying to do something different than Tallarico. You can't do what he does the entire time. Otherwise, you just might not have enough to gain there at the end. So making the bold strategy call to do what he doesn't. And that's going to put Han into that top spot, leading the race. That's also going to put Tanner Tallarico, Frank DiMaggio, Bryson Clark right there behind Han. All three of those drivers going to have fresh Goodyear tires for this restart. Han is going to have to be on it. He's going to have to live up to that moniker, that nickname, Brett the Jet. He is going to have to kick all the jet fuel through that carburetor that he can. Get it down. Just get the power down, get the tires to hook up, and he is going to have to fire off the best that he has all night long here on this final restart for the Concrete Jungle 130 if he's going to want a chance not just at the race win, but at finishing in a podium spot. Your top 5 drivers, 4 out of your top 5, all with fresh tires. Mike Grandy Sr. sitting back there in that 5th spot. He's got fresh tires as well. So your top 5, 4 out of those drivers with fresh tires, with brand new fresh tires under this caution. This is going to be a little hectic, and we've got some trouble under caution. What happened here under caution? Chris Dean. Looks like something may have happened back here with the 2 machine. Oh my goodness. Contact between Dean and another car under caution. That does not vote well for the end of the race there for Dean, already having a very troublesome race here. Now got to overcome a little bit more contact, but with that being said, race fans, lights out on that Ford Mustang pace car. We're set to go back green flag racing this time around. Brett Hahn in control of the race for the first time tonight. Can he fire off and get away from Tanner Tallarico on that outside? We'll have to wait and see how it goes. Waiting in the box and waiting. On the gas, green flag flies. Hahn gets a little squirrely, not the start that he needed. Tanner Tallarico gonna pull even now, start to pull by. Hahn right there fighting back on that inside lane, not gonna have enough speed off of 2. He's gonna lose 2 spots by the time they get to 3. Now Bryson Clark battling with Tanner Tallarico, and Frank DiMaggio gonna make his way by Hahn as well. Hahn from first back to 4th, final lap, white flag here at Dover International Speedway. We'll jump back up here with the battle for the race lead. Tallarico has Bryson Clark in hand. Into 3 for the final time, out of 4 to the line, checkered flag for your race winner. That one of Tanner Tallarico, Bryson Clark, Frank DiMaggio coming in those final podium spots, and what do you know, Tallarico goes quick time in the race. The fastest lap of the race on the last lap of the race, 21:79 there for Tallarico to ensure the race a win. And with that being said, he's more than likely going to come down here, give us a little bit of a smoke show for his celebrations here. What a run by your race winner, the man on screen right there out of Charlotte, Michigan. Tanner Tallarico walking away with the race win. And as Tallarico enjoys his victory laps, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break. Get things set and ready to go for your post-race interviews. We'll wait to see if Tallarico does give us that smoke show, and looks like he's going to nuzzle that nose right up to the outside wall and burn those tires down, celebrating a great race win. Dominating performance once again out of that one for Tanner Tallarico. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back with all your post-race interviews here from Dover International Speedway on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Backtrack side as the race replay runs in the background. Let's see if we can't catch in a few words with some of your podium finishing drivers here tonight. Let's see if we can't dial up the driver that walked away in third place here tonight. Driver inside that 95 machine, Frank DiMaggio. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, my man, how you doing? How you feeling after a solid run once again?
My arms are a little shaky, but that was a lot of fun. And I mean, the car's real tight, especially if you overdrive it and through the center, and loose off if you're too aggressive with it. So with the force feedback, yeah, my arms are a little jittery right now, but it's feeling good.
Well, man, you had a solid race pretty much all race long. You made your way up through the field, up 12 spots from where you started tonight's race. Was there any point in time during the race where you thought this may just end up going to a tire strategy or a fuel strategy, or did those cautions just kind of put an end to all of that strategy game?
Honestly, I don't think we had enough yellows to make the strategy work. With that long green run, everybody had to pit under green and get tires then. everyone was kind of on the same page. I think Dorsey saved a set, but that didn't really work out for him. But yeah, at the end when we got that yellow, kind of surprised Brett in pit, but yeah, we were able to get by him the last few laps and come away with third.
Well, Frank, you visited us here in the booth multiple times throughout the season. Still one more race left here in this season before a brief little off-season period. So I do want to say congratulations on tonight's race. And let's see if we can't get you back in the booth one more time before the end of the season. And with that all being said, Frank, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that Barstool Sports 95?
Just want to say thanks to BladeNote.com, all my teammates at Longshot Motorsports, and everyone watching at the Turn 3 Network. So a lot of fun tonight, and hopefully we can end next week out with a high note for some momentum towards next season.
All right, Frank. Well, we'll look forward to catching up with you at Atlanta for the championship race.
All right, take it easy.
There you have it. Final words from the driver walking away in that final podium spot here tonight. Driver inside of that 95 Barstool Sports Chevy ZL1 Camaro. That was Frank DiMaggio. We'll now check in, see if we can't catch in a few words with the driver walking away in second here tonight. Bryson Clark, it's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, my man. How you doing? How you feeling?
Good after that. Starting, 19th and coming up second. Yeah, was a little scared to start near the front, so I wanted to kind of feel how things were going, and they kept it going pretty good, so I figured I needed to get a move on, so finally had to.
Well, you made a good, solid run there after the green flag pit stops, and then the late race caution, you were able to get by Brett, who had stayed out on the older tires. Did you think at any point you may have had something for Tanner at the front?
I did going into turn one when I was on his bumper. After that, he's been quicker than me, qualifying, practice, every part of the race. So I was hoping I might be able to get underneath him at some point, but he held the bottom line. I was just kind of holding on for second at that point. We came down to pit, and I saw there was only 4 of us on the lead laps. I was like, there's no way I'm risking that. Props to Brett for keeping it straight, because that would have been a big one.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a moment, but nonetheless, man, you were able to keep that 73 headed in the right direction. A good, solid finish here tonight from Dover International Speedway. How are you looking? How are you feeling going into next week's championship race, the final race of this season?
I'm just kind of out here for fun. I'm not in the playoffs, so at this point I'm just playing spoiler for some of the playoff guys for point-wise, but I don't know. It's kind of nice to come out here and just have fun now. I don't have to worry about points or championships or anything like that. Unfortunately, I had a pretty bad season as far as getting taken out, so I can kind of sit back and enjoy it now.
Well, sometimes a free race is the best kind of race. It's just stress-free. You can kind of just go out there and do what you want without any real repercussions, so that's a good feeling to have at one side, and, kind of a bad one on the other. But either way, Bryson, one heck of a run here tonight, walking away with a second-place finish. Before we let you go, you want to thank anybody, give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that 73?
RSC Timberworks, the main sponsor in the car, TRX Express, Longshot Motorsports for getting me on the team for this season. All the admins, they do a great job as far as pretty much everything, sorting things out during the race, everything that you guys don't see behind the scenes. And then you guys for broadcasting. It's an awesome broadcast.
Well, we do appreciate those kind words, Bryson, and we look forward to catching up with you next week in the final race of the season at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yep, see you guys there.
And there you have it, final words from the driver walking away in the second spot here tonight, driver inside that 73 machine. And that's going to bring us to, you already know who it is, the man, the myth, the legend, the man of the moment, walking away with yet another race win here this season in the Cyber Thunder BladeNote.com Pro Cup Series. Tanner Tallarico, you've made a habit of it all season long. You're making it more of a habit here in the chase. How you doing? How you feeling after another great race win?
I'm feeling pretty good right now, Dave. That was that one right there. I don't think I've ever driven that hard ever on iRacing. I don't know how many laps I put in over the week getting ready for this thing. I really haven't tried it out before, but the latest tool that I've been trying to use is run some AI races and get used to running just simulated races like this. And I think I did like 4 of those this week. And oh man, I don't know. I just felt like I was locked in the whole race, and I think I missed like 2 or 3 marks the whole time, which usually I miss a lot more than that. So I was pretty proud of that. But yeah, the car drove really good the whole night. I don't know if the setup kind of worked in my driving style a little bit or what, but felt really stable the whole entire night, and just glad all the hard work I put in during the week paid off.
Well, the hard work definitely showed out there tonight. Walked away with the pole position, the most laps led, the race win. You came into tonight's race with a small points advantage over Brett Hahn. There under that final caution, Hahn stayed out, kind of had to do what he doesn't strategy. Unfortunately for him, it didn't work. Fortunately enough for you, you were able to capitalize on it and put yourself back in that top spot. Do you think tonight's race win gives you any bit of a buffer, so to speak? Can you breathe any easier going into next week's final race, the championship race at Atlanta?
Well, Dave, as much as I'd like to say yes, everybody in this league is really good, Brett included. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He ran Kansas last week and absolutely dominated that race from flag to flag. So, as much as I'd like to say that I can breathe easier going into Atlanta, I just really can't. I kind of got to go into it with the same mindset as I had tonight and just put in a lot of laps and try to learn everything that I can during the week. And, one thing that I think goes for granted is luck. I thought there at the end of that race when that caution came out with like 2 to go and we had a green-white checker, I thought right there my luck had ran out. But we got lucky again, I guess. So it came back our way. But, luck is one thing that you got to always have go your way in these races. And if we can go into Atlanta and have the luck go our way and just do my job behind the wheel and just make sure that I get to the end, I think that hopefully we'll be in a pretty good position, but definitely will not be breathing any easier this next week.
Well, Tanner, again, my man, congratulations on another race win here tonight, conquering the concrete monster here at Dover International Speedway. Man, it's been a pleasure watching you all season long, and I'm sure next week is not going to disappoint at all heading into the championship night. So before we let you go and enjoy tonight's race win, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that one?
Absolutely. First and foremost, my family and friends. I know my mom and my grandma, I say it every time I get the opportunity to talk to you, Dave. I know they tune into these races, and maybe my aunt out in Arizona is watching too. I don't know. I'd like to say a small little fan club that tunes into these races. And my friends that also tune in. I don't know if Derek and Jared are watching, but if you are, what's up? And then partners on the car. We got Caterpillar on the car, Mid-Michigan Cat. Kind of came on in the middle of the season, and really feel fortunate that we've been able to have some really good runs with those guys. But can't forget about Pro Coat. They've been on the car since the start of the season. Advanced Auto Parts, they've been on the car since the start of the season. So really thankful for all their support all season long as the season's dwindling down. But I obviously can't leave you out, Dave. You guys have done a phenomenal job putting these races on at Turn 3 week in and week out. I love to go back and watch them myself. I know if I could go back and see how many times I've watched each individual replay from the whole season, I could probably triple the season length, really. But last but not least, all my friends that I've made here at Cyber over the last about 2.5 years, 3 years or so, really made some good friendships here, and looking forward to what the future has in store. Not really sure what that's going to be at the moment, but I made some really good friends here, and just looking forward to Atlanta and hopefully having a decent send-off.
All right, Tanner. Well, again, man, congratulations on a great race win here tonight at Dover. The D's just get me, Dave, Daytona, whatever. It doesn't matter. Here at Dover International Speedway, man. Again, congratulations on a great season so far. We look forward to catching up with you next week at Atlanta, and we'll see if you can't capture that big trophy at the end of the night.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Appreciate all you do, man, and hopefully we're talking to you in Atlanta.
All right, there you have it. Those were the final words from tonight's race winner in dominating fashion at that, leading the most laps, walking away with the pole position, the one of Tanner Tallarico in that Caterpillar 1 machine, and it looks like producers already hitting the buttons. It looks like they're missing the pre-race music, so they're firing that one up for us here tonight to run down tonight's unofficial race results, walking away with the race win. Here tonight in the Concrete Jungle 130 in the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, sponsored by BladeNode.com, your race winner, the one of Tanner Tallarico. Walking away in the second spot here tonight, good solid showing for that 73 of Bryson Clark. Rounding out your podium positions in that third spot, the 95 of Frank DiMaggio. Fourth place goes the championship contender Brett Hahn. Mike Grandy gonna finish in fifth. Jeff Sharp walking away from the track. First car off the lead lap in the sixth position. Michael Witt gonna walk away in seventh. Eighth place goes to Chris Wold. Cole Gray gonna finish tonight's race in ninth, and rounding out your top 10 in the Concrete Jungle 130, the 101 of Dave Gainforth. Driver out of D's Lug Nuts Incorporated, Tom Richter gonna finish tonight's race in the 11th spot. Jay Morris gonna walk away in 12th. 13th goes to Eddie Behan. Paul Taylor in the 42 coming home in 14th, and Crank Bell rounds out your top 15. Christine Slottenholm in the 16th spot. Brian Dorsey gonna finish in 17th. Richard Pruitt in the 24 machine finishing in the 18th spot tonight. 19th goes to Eric Anderson. The 3 of Eric Moore gonna slot home in 20th. 21st goes to Andy Cork. Jamie Beasley gonna bring his 29 machine home in the 22nd spot. Bob Rogerson gonna finish in 23rd. Andrew Payne not able to make the starting grid after some electrical and mechanical issues. He'll finish in the final spot in tonight's race, back in the 24th spot. Man, what a race it was tonight at the Concrete Monster Dover International Speedway. And with that being said, race fans, 2 out of the 3 championship races in the books. We get set to head to Atlanta Motor Speedway for next week's championship night, the final race this season for the Cyber Thunder BladeNode.com Pro Cup Series. Man, oh man, what a season it has already been. Some big news coming out during the week about next season. Stay tuned for some of that coming up later on through the week. Do want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Darkside, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 Racing headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by. Whether you're just casually stopping through, the devoted friend, fan, or family, we appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by. Without you, there would be no us. So we do appreciate each and every one of you. And with that being said, it's a new day. It's a new year. But let's stay safe, stay loved, and until next time, my friends, we'll meet you in Turn 3.